Do we go down a path of fear and anger?
Don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
And division?
And those people are putting us all at risk.
And toxicity?
Small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa.
Pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes.
Fear didn't put food on anyone's table.
And if Canada, in effect, shuts its borders to a high proportion of those drivers, surely that's a bit shooting himself in the foot, particularly when it comes to goods on shelves.
It is.
Anger doesn't create a single job.
Mandatory vaccination for federal employees are some of the strongest in the world.
When we hosted Chancellor Scholz of Germany, he talked at length about our values of compassion.
Makes me want to puke. It makes.
I mean, even if you're to pan the camera around right now, you'll see every kind of looking person. You'll see there's probably 30 languages spoken right here. There's every kind of person here. We're all Canadians.
They know
this is the best
that we have the democratic values that make us reliable.
As of today,
this is the best.
A bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order.
We have great resources and even greater workers.
We'll cap oil and gas sector emissions today and ensure they decrease tomorrow at a pace and scale needed to reach net zero by 2050. That's no small task for a major oil and gas producing country.
But what ties this all together, what makes Canada really valuable, is we treat people with the respect and dignity they deserve.
Stop it! They just trampled this lady. They just trampled that lady. They just fully trampled that lady.
Obviously, everyone in China should be allowed to express themselves, should be allowed to share their perspectives and indeed protest. We're going to continue to ensure that China knows we'll stand up for human rights. We'll stand with people who are expressing themselves.
The lady got fully trampled with a horse. What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Everybody, I'm going to refresh this. Credit to Mike Barr TV, and I'm going to share this tweet with everybody so that you should all go immediately and make this the most viral tweet in the history of the Twitterverse. That's. I'm a little jealous of that montage because I don't have the patience to do the side by side because that requires software that I don't have on my phone. So I just cut to and from. That is the most wonderful juxtaposition of Orwellian doublespeak that you'll ever find anywhere. It is as though it's as though you can just lie, and the media sure as hell will not call him out on it because Justin Trudeau is doing everything in his tyrannical legislative power to give the advantage back to the media that has lost it since the advent of the internet. They're not going to put together montages like that. They're not going to highlight. It's not just hypocrisy. It's lies. When he got on the stand during the commission and lied about not having anyone called anybody names, and I made up the joke, how he could walk around that and say, I didn't call them names. I was just making statements of fact that they were unvaccinated. The media will not hold him to account, and it takes the independent media to do it. The independent media that he is trying to suppress, demote, downgrade, discredit, and penalize under this new streaming act, the online streaming act that has passed the Senate, now become law in Canada. It's the most in-your-face juxtaposition of the lies that they spout at their filthy conventions, where they're surrounded by ignorant or maliciously dishonest members of their ilk. You go to the Liberal convention and they have Hillary Clinton come and talk with Chrystia Freeland. They're all either ignorant or liars because you can't be an honest, open-minded person and go to that convention and listen to Justin Trudeau spout off those lies and not say, you're a goddamn liar, Trudeau. I mean, you're a liar. Anyways, that was the best montage ever. Everyone should go. Let me see. I'll do it again. Here. Go share the love, spread the word, watch that tweet, and share it around. Now, you may have noticed, by the way, before we get into the standard disclaimers, before we get into you may have noticed this is a sponsored video. This is not part of the sponsorship, but I got something in the mail. Vinyl. 5 times August. 5 times August. Silent War. I ordered it. I've been waiting for months. And the funny thing is, the only person in our house that's going to be able to play this is my daughter, because she's got an actual vinyl record player. Side 1, God Help Us All. Jesus, What Happened to Us. Out of Your Mind. That's the good song. But God Help Us All is my favorite. I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly. Silent War. Side 2, Joe, Sad Little Man, Anti-Fascist Blues. This Just In. Fight for You. Gates Behind Bars. Lions. Produced by 5 times August. I don't know where I got it. I mean, I know I got it online. Get one and support 5 times August. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to put this back here. Is that good? Yeah, that's pretty good. And hold on. I saw another yellow thingy thing come up. Where is it? Where is it? I'm just going to go. Locals is not going? Son of a bee sting. Hold on. Did I forget to do something? Hold on. Okay. If you plan to use RTPM, hold on. Copied. Let me figure this out if I didn't do it already. Add. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to do this again. I'm copying the RTPM and the key, putting it in locals, and now add. Okay. See what you get by upgrading. Not right now. Okay, save changes. So I've added it. And okay, let me see. Locals is not going. Let me just go to locals and make sure that we're going there. Locals, is it working? In the Belfry says, relax. It's fine. Locals is working. Okay, geez Louise, everybody makes me panic. Well, thank you, Go for Big Guy 911 for the super chat. Okay, on that note, look, we'll get to standard disclaimers. Whenever you see these wonderful highlighted comments that come with a little $sign next to them, those are called super chats on YouTube, Rumble Rants on Rumble. YouTube takes 30% of these. So if you want to support the channel, the more effective way to support what I do, what Robert and I do, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. I'll get there in a second. Or go watch on Rumble. Rumble takes 20% ordinarily, but for the rest of 2023, they take 0%. So it's better for the creator, better to support a platform that supports free speech. And for the rest of the year, Rumble will not be taking anything. 2024, they're going to go back to their cut. So super duper effective for the rest of the year. Calling everything a controversy, the manipulation of virtually everything nowadays could be our demise as the United States of America. There's a number of things that are going to be the demise of everything. The absence of truth and the decay of the meaning of words itself. I mean, it makes for any form of grounded principles, objective reality, time-tested and true principles, totally fluid. It makes reality and truth itself fluid. $2 for the algorithm, and off I go. All right, so let me make sure that Barnes has the link. There was a this contains a paid promo, because it does, people, and it's one of the products that I use myself. Sincerely, I've been using it for a while. Fieldofgreens.com, people. This is their weight loss thing, but fieldofgreens.com. Powdered greens, desiccated greens. Not defecated, not desecrated. Desiccated, which is like basically dried up and pulverized. So it's not an extract and it's not a supplement. It's a food. It's USDA organic. Most people know, you know the shtick. You're supposed to eat your fruits and vegetables, kids. 5 to 7 servings a day, and most people don't do it. You go to McDonald's, you can't get fruits and vegetables anymore. And even when you do, by the way, it's doused in dressing that makes it almost more toxic than not eating it. You're supposed to have 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Most people don't do it. I do. But I still try to supplement a bad habit that I have of energy drinks with a healthy habit. One spoonful is 1 serving of fruits and vegetables with the antioxidant powers of everything you get of your super fruits and vegetables. It's USDA organic. It's good. It actually tastes good. It looks like swamp water is my joke, but swamp water is swamp water because it's highly nutrient and it has the nutrients of life for all other living organisms. Fieldofgreens.com. If you go there, Viva is the promo code. You get 15% off your order. They have a new weight loss thing. Wait, what's going on here? So that is it. Viva. If you put in promo code Viva, Field of Greens, it's good stuff. I use it. I like it. But eat your fruits and vegetables and get your exercise. Now, there was one other video that we're going to watch today, people. Tonight's going to be a good show. I don't know. I think a lot of people actually tuned in yesterday for my interview with Joe. And I'm reading the comments today, and it's very interesting. There is people who love the discussion. There are those who think that Joe is incorrect in her interpretation of Buddhism and gender in Buddhism. I know the limits of my own knowledge to even, I did not study religion, so I don't know. But it was a fun discussion, and it's interesting just understanding when people get to, express themselves, not, eloquently, but in longer format, not reduced to tweets, not reduced to name calling. But you hear, you get the perspective of teachers who, for right or for wrong, view their students as their children, as their kids. We all had teachers. The teachers called us their kids. And you see the interplay, the push and pull, and it's not conflict, but rather it is overlapping bubbles of influence between teachers who might think that their sphere of influence overlaps with the sphere of influence of what ought to be the obligation, responsibility, and privileges of the parents. And once you understand that that's the interplay, that's the conflict, well, then you have to say, what limits do I set? What limits do I expect to be set in a school environment? And if those limits are not set and or not respected, then what do I do? People say, pull your kids out of public school, pull your kids out of school. And dude, anyone who can homeschool and do it well, Godspeed and God bless. But it was a very interesting discussion. So I would recommend everyone go watch it if you haven't seen it. 824964105. Is that supposed to be a word? Winstonism, noun, a branch or facet of leftism that believes crapping in one's own home to be virtuous. Finally, a leader in which the left can unite. Dude, if you had any idea how much crap, feces I had to clean up over the weekend, and I clean up on a regular basis. All right, but now speaking of feces, so tonight we're going to talk about a lot of stuff when Barnes gets here. Sponsor, fieldofgreens.com, promo code Viva. Get your good stuff there. 5 Times August, get your album. They are all either ignorant or liars, you said, Viva. I beg to differ. Many of them are both. Talking about the attendees at the Liberal conference. The thing that I found most shocking, and I told Joe, so this is not like I'm saying anything that I didn't say to her, is that the people who recognize the historical atrocities committed by the government and then are not reluctant to trust the government, who are not reluctant to distrust the governments in real time. That's what I don't understand. And that is simply a perspective of being deferential to authority, despite all evidence as to why you should not be. Speaking of feces, now we have another something to watch here. You got. So the poop is now hitting the fan with the latest deified, martyrized. 1 second, please. Get out. Get out. Damn dog. Decide. Okay, hold on. We're in like George Floyd 2.0, 3.0. I don't know what iteration we're at now with the Michael Jackson impersonator. I forget his first name, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Neely, who was killed on the New York City subway by a Marine who put him in a chokehold, apparently for too long. And you watch the media coverage of this, and it's like, it's like an episode of The Simpsons in the sickest and twisted ways, where the media has decided it's running with the narrative that this was a nice, peaceful, totally innocent, hardworking busker who entertained millions doing his Michael Jackson impersonation, which is not wrong, except it's wrong by omission in that that was one aspect of a person. People are not, single-faceted entities that can be summarized with one sentence. He also had mental illness issues. He was also a violent repeat criminal. I mean, this is not to say that he deserved what happened to him that day because of his history. The history, that said, might have something to do to explain the events of that day. Media is now full deification. Innocent individual just randomly lynched by an angry dude on a subway. And the media does it. And, it's not clear what happens first. Do the mobs amass, claiming injustice before and the media reports on it? Or do they get influenced by the media, misinformed by the media, and start doing this afterwards? This is a video put up by Ian Miles Chong, Still Gray, on Twitter. Let's watch this.
Why your officers take black lives? Why your officers take black lives? Your officers are taking black lives. Your officers are taking black lives. Are y'all gonna your officers took black lives. 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 Your officers.
I mean, first of all, would the individual in the front be doing this if there were no cameras? Like that's the first question I ask. If there were no social media and they did not know that someone or multiple people are going to be recording this, posting it to social media, would that individual in the front be doing this? Question number one. Is social media, speaking of, the downfall of society, is this type of performative protestation of perceived injustice, is it manufactured? Is it falsified? Is it exaggerated? Is it exaggerated by the existence of social media? Can we appreciate the irony that you have a person in the front here? I won't get into things that I'm not sure about. Seems to be Latino, lecturing a black officer about his police department taking black lives. I mean, the glance over at the camera, if that's what it was. Your officers took black lives.
Why are you touching me?
Why are you touching me? It's madness. It's like the scene in the movies. It's like V for Vendetta. It's madness. It is a circle of violence. I mean, you have people holding up metro stations. They were protesting on the metro stations or the subway stations, which are electrified. And you have these incidents where something happens, and there's some other videos of people getting arrested, and then there's going to be another tragedy. There's going to be another incident. There's going to be another protestation. There's going to be another manifestation. Can we? I won't get into the mental wellness, but there is also the element of mental unwellness where people have the tendency of just saying the same thing over and over again, and as they say it over and over again, whipping themselves further and further into a frenzy until something snaps, something cataclysmic happens. Same thing with Billboard Chris, when he was standing there and the person was in front of his face screaming, F you, F you, F you, and louder, 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 louder. And something's going to happen because the person is just doing it until something else happens. But you have a Latino individual lecturing a black officer about his police taking black lives. And how many of the people protesting there are either misinformed or wildly ill-informed because they're reading CNN puff pieces about how Neely was a beloved busker who struggled with the murder of his mother. Questions I'd ask is, why on earth are we in such an environment where these murders are happening so frequently that they are traumatizing generation after generation? Struggling with the death of his mother, the murder of his mother. And that pesky little fact that, between the years of 2019 And 2021, he happened to have also randomly, violently assaulted 3 women on the metro, on the subway. How many people protesting know that? Not that it would explain what happened, but certainly would attenuate public expectation as to the perceived injustice of what did in fact happen. If it turns out you're dealing with a repeat violent criminal who allegedly was acting threateningly and harassing bystanders on the metro, on the subway, would that maybe change the public perception of the rage and the protest that people feel is justified and warranted? What else? Hold on, I had something else as the okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh, well, hold on 1 second. Barnes is not here yet, but before he gets here, let's go to the Rumble rants. See what's going on here. Did you remember to send the link to Barnes? I did. You've got the link? Question mark. People are questioning whether or not I sent it to you. Smiley face. Sent it by text. I sent it to Barnes. Real Tadad says, if NDP win in Alberta, can you provide guidance on moving to Florida? I did a live stream with my immigration lawyer, so people can go check that up. I'll see if I can find it again. Felis Rufus 35 says, cluck the government, get chickens. Mandatory Kari, who had also a super chat. Being necessary to the security of a free state, the duty of the people to keep and bear arms shall be enforced. Keep fighting. Mandatory Kari. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have... Hold on a second. Hello. Yeah, you can let me. Thank you. Okay. That wasn't Barnes. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have written very different Second Amendment. A well-protected public. Okay, hold on. I don't know where Barnes is. I'm gonna send it to him by email as well, because I think give me 2 seconds here. Hold on, people. Okay. All right. And now one other thing, which is, so yesterday, well, we're going to talk about it later during the show, but the Trump trial and the deposition by now heard round the world. Trump did not testify at his trial, is not going to testify at the E. Carroll trial. Apparently the time has lapsed. He will not be testifying. There was a 57-minute, not spliced, but there was 57 minutes of deposition from his deposition that was submitted to the jury. The 57 minutes is available to the general public if you go to certain, you can find it on certain websites where it's what the jury saw of the highlights, snippets, and clippets of Trump's deposition. One of the infamous clips, there's a few that went viral. The media was reporting. At one point in the deposition, Trump mistook. He's looking at a famous photograph, a black and white photograph that has E. Carroll in it, her husband. He mistook Carroll, the plaintiff in this lawsuit, for his ex, Marla Maples, in the photograph. Media went wild with it. This is like, some subconscious admission that when Trump said she's not my type, she's so his type that he actually mistook her for his ex-wife in his video, in his deposition. Now, the honest media should be also specifying, as many of them have, honest, that he did say, the picture is very blurry. I think some people are passing that off as though it's an excuse. The picture's blurry. Oh, no. That's just his excuse. Having watched the full 57 minutes of that deposition, there were a number of times when even the lawyer said, look, we have a blown up version of the exhibit I'm submitting to you, because the exhibits that they're submitting are on pieces of paper and patently unclear, patently blurry, as Trump said about the picture. And I just had to, I found it interesting that there was another section.
Okay, let's look at the statement. Let's mark it as, what's my next number?
28.
DJT 28. Okay, so this one.
I can't read this.
Well, we have a blown up version. Let's mark it as 28 and 28A.
So it is clear that the exhibits that he's working with are not obvious. They are blurry, but the media got their talking point. What was I going to say? Oh, so okay, Barnes is there in the back. I'll be quick on this. So the other one was grab her by the PUSSY. If he says the millions of years in Hollywood, that's how the superstars act, and everyone was going nuts with that on social media, including people who should not have been going nuts with that, namely Mia Farrow. By the way, it's outrageous. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the tweet. Yeah, Mia Farrow tweeted. I'm not able to view this because she blocked me. Oh, for goodness sake! She said, "I've been in my million of years experience in Hollywood. Most stars don't grab them by the feline." And then I just had to say, is this tweet a joke, Mia Farrow? You defended Roman Polanski, which she did in his libel trial, 20 years later. One of your children accused of your ex of molestation, Dylan Allen. An ex who went on to marry your respective adoptive daughter, that would be, I forget her name now, after Mia Farrow found nude pictures of their adoptive daughter at Woody Harrelson's house when she was 21 years old. The daughter was adopted when she was 15. That daughter also accused Mia Farrow of physical and psychological abuse. Trump is correct. I got so swiftly blocked from Mia Farrow, not even 2 minutes. And then, Barnes, I'm bringing you in. And then Robert astutely pointed out, Robert, what's the deal with Mia Farrow's brother?
At least one of them is a convicted pedophile.
Well, Hollywood is a cesspool of degeneracy, debauchery, and depravity. Everyone should avoid it, and I have great difficulty watching movies that come out of Hollywood these days. Robert, sir, how goes the battle?
Good.
Okay, so what do we start? Well, okay, cigar, and is there a book behind you? There's no book.
No book. No, I forget which brand this is.
Now, I'm going to ask you a crass question, because during one of the Bourbon with Barnes last week, you mentioned your favorite cigar, a Monte Cristo number 14, 1959?
No, Monte Cristo number 2.
Number 2. Can I ask, what does that type of cigar cost? Not to be crass, are they reasonable or?
No, they're extremely rare because they're pre-Cuban embargo cigars, so not many people have them. And so there's a guy at the Ritz-Carlton on Nob Hill in San Francisco who has them. And so because he got them from somebody who had an auction who had stored them up before. I don't know if I haven't been there in many years, so I don't know if he still does. But that's where you can get them, and they're very rare. So, but yeah, very expensive. But yeah, extraordinary cigars.
This is another ignorant question. They don't go bad, cigars, after a period of time?
Not if they're maintained correctly. No.
Okay. But Robert, I guess we're gonna probably just hop right over to Rumble right away. What do we have on the menu? After you do the menu, everybody start making your way over to Rumble. What do we have on the menu for tonight?
So to start off with, we'll have the New York City subway case. Then we have the Barstool sports case. Kash Patel sues the Defense Department over publishing his book. The 2 different Trump trials, the Carroll trial that you briefly talked about, and the criminal case being removed to federal court. The Proud Boys verdict, First Amendment implications of that, of definition of seditious conspiracy. Stephen Crowder was kind of talking about that on Friday. Robert Kennedy calling for the pardoning of both Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Like something that looks like a business card can get you convicted for illegally owning a machine gun. The Chevron deference at the Supreme Court. Kari Lake at the Arizona Supreme Court. Big tech Biden collusion turns into a class action. The Australian class action over COVID vaccine injuries. Gonzalo Lira arrested in Ukraine. The Wagner Russia dispute that popped up over the weekend, and a couple of bonus cases. The first ever NFT insider trading case, conviction this past week, and social media blocking by politicians might be back up at the Supreme Court.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to read one last super chat before we go, because I haven't been here for a while, before live shows in a while. Keep up the good fight. Still hope we're in the same gulag when the woke get around to re-education camps. Don't give them any ideas, and don't put that juju out there. Peeps, let's mosey on over to Rumble. You know what? For the sake of it, I'm going to wait 7 seconds so that it happens exactly at 30 minutes.